So I noticed this article on Loopings.nl, which is a Dutch website about theme parks and fun fairs around Europe, really. It's a really interesting website. There's always good stuff on here every couple of days, especially. And they're reporting that the new RMC Coaster in Energylandia in Poland, which was going to be finished next year originally, 2020, but that's actually nearing completion, according to the latest photos. So you can see that the structure is complete. The track is all there now, and even the theming is pretty much all there. It kind of looks a little bit sort of Taran inspired to me. It's not that level of quality theming, I think, but it's it looks kind of nice. I think Energylandia looks quite nice from the photos I've seen. I've not been out there, but I was definitely waiting on this. As soon as I heard that this was coming, well, once the RMC is there, this is going to have to be, sort of top of my list trying to get out there. But anyway, the opening date looks like it's going to be pushed forward. According to this article, there's nothing official yet coming from Energylandia, but I did notice a couple of weeks ago on the actual RCDB page, rcdb.com page for Energylandia, that Zadra, suddenly it started to say the 15th of August 2019. I almost thought it was a mistake, because I was like, well, surely it can't just suddenly open a year sooner, but it looks like it's gonna happen. And what's interesting as well, if you look at the reason why it might be that day, if you look on the opening times for Energylandia, you'll notice that in August 15th, there is actually some kind of Magic Night beach party, according to this. So they're open from 10 a.m. till 12 midnight. So that's probably another reason why they're really trying to, make sure it's opening on that day. I have read some reports on TripAdvisor these days that it is quite busy over the summer holidays. This park historically, I think, was not always that busy. Like if you see vlogs from, I watched vlogs from Coaster Crazy and Theme Park Worldwide. It didn't look too bad really out there, but I think it has gotten, the popularity of this park, which is a very newish park. I mean, I think it only opened in 2014, so we're talking just five years. The popularity has obviously soared. So, but it's very interesting for us people living abroad as well, because even though this is out in Poland, they've got like a massive collection of roller coasters already, and a couple are sort of kiddie ones, to be fair. But I'm really interested riding Formula, which is a smallish Vekoma launch coaster with, I think there's 2 inversions on there. Let's see, actually 3. 50 mile an hour launch, not too bad. It's a little bit short from the POVs I've seen. Speed looks like a crazy water coaster built by Intamin. There's a lot of Intamin here at this park now, because in their main roller coaster at the moment opened last year, which is Hyperion, which is kind of it's their tallest one, and it's actually the tallest roller coaster if you do not count the launch coaster at Ferrariland in Spain, Salau, Spain, near next to Portaventura. If you don't count that, this is actually the tallest roller coaster in Europe now. So it's very unique, that they've managed to get that so quick in the lifetime of this park. So definitely another reason to go out there. But the RMC, for me, absolutely. Interesting, there's another roller coaster in development as well, another Vekoma, which I think is kind of the same style as Formula, and that's due to open next year. It's their Firestorm model from Vekoma, and you can actually see some POVs, some digital POVs of that online as well. It looks really good. The track is there according to some photos, as you can see, but that's now opening next year, whereas I thought this was opening first and in, because this looked like a simpler roller coaster than the RMC, but the RMC has been rushed. by the looks of this. And that's really surprising because they did have a setback back in March. I don't know if you heard about this, but it's they had there was a massive storm in Poland. In fact, there was a lot of storms across Europe around about that time. This happened on the 11th of March. Big storm, and the entire lift hill, the top of the lift hill collapsed, and I think there was a part of another, it might have been the second or the second hill also collapsed. And I really thought this really sets things back. It's definitely not going to be opening before 2020, but yeah, they really get on with stuff at Rocky Mountain Construction, it seems. So yeah, it's opening in just over a week, 1.5 weeks from now. It's going to open on Saturday, the 15th of August, most likely, unless some of these reports are not 100% accurate. But something to look out for. So yeah, you can comment on this, and I'm very curious to know if anyone is heading out there in the next, or if anyone is watching this from Poland. Of course, that would be interesting as well. But are you heading out there in the next couple of weeks? Are you considering heading out there this year? I would have liked to have gone this year, but I think it's probably going to be next year. I'm not sure if I'll be waiting for this other roller coaster. I mean, that would be great, getting another roller coaster. I mean, 16 roller coasters. It's mental. I don't think I've ever been at a park with that many roller coasters. I think the most is 10 for myself, but it's astonishing. And I know that there's a couple of kiddie coasters, but still it's a massive figure, and they've just got such a nice diverse portfolio with the RMC opening, and then an even bigger launch coaster from Vekoma, which looks really good. That looks like it's almost a combination of Formula on their Lek coaster, roller coaster, which is also in Poland, not far away from Energylandia, different park. Legendia, I think it's called. So yeah, two very good reasons to go out there. Two interesting parks. If you've not been to Poland, it's definitely on my to-do list, and hopefully within the next year I'll have been there. It's not difficult to get to this place. There's airport not far away. I think it's Krakow. And there's quite a few flights from Luton. Obviously, there's a large population of Polish people in the UK, so we've got a lot of good transport links now to Poland, which is cool for us roller coaster fans if you want to go out to this park. So it's definitely a trip I'm going to make. Need to find a decent hotel to stay, and probably rent a car so I can travel to the two different parks. And on a very different note, personally, I'd like to visit Auschwitz, which is actually quite close to this park. It's a very different topic, obviously, so I'm not really going to talk about that. But it's another reason to visit Poland for myself. So the RMC looks really good. Zadra, it means splinter, fragment in English, and it says here, like I said, 15th of August opening. It's quite a long one, and it's quite a tall one. It's 200 feet, and I was just comparing it to like the new one that I managed to ride just a few weeks ago. So 4 or 5 weeks ago, Untamed, and yeah, that one is only 117 feet drop, as you can see, and we're talking almost twice as high. It's astonishing. Untamed, 57 miles per hour. Zadra is going to go at 71 miles an hour, which is kind of the speed you get really with hyper coasters almost, isn't it? That comes close to the speed on the big one. It comes close to the speed that you get on Taron. The second launch is in that region, I believe. Only got 3 inversions, surprisingly. A much longer track than Untamed. Untamed's got 5, but we've got some less inversions, but it looks good. And as you can see here, a lot of these photos were taken whilst they were still finishing construction, which is just a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, you can see the track going up. It's astonishing. It just looks really good, doesn't it? really nice tall drop. It's very impressive, this this structure, I think, where there's actually these gaps in the lift hill. It's amazing that this can stand like that. But they know what they're doing at Rocky Mountain Construction, obviously. So this is yeah, it's just going to be a really nice coaster. This is going further back in time. So yeah, they built this up from the ground very quickly. Just within a year, it's all come together, really. So it's going to be the third one, the third RMC coaster in Europe. It's just really exciting. Of course, the third one is Wildfire. Not ridden that either. Kolmarden, Sweden. A little bit of a journey to try and get there if you're planning on going to the likes of Liseberg, which is where I was going to head, but my flight got cancelled. So I'm going to try and get out there for Halloween at Liseberg, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get to Kolmarden, unfortunately. But anyway, this one is kind of similar speed. The height is a little bit less than Zadra, but it's more of a similar coaster, I guess. So if you like, and they both have been built from scratch, I believe, which is a little bit different than Untamed, because of course Untamed replaced Robin Hood. So both these coasters, I believe, are completely from scratch. And they don't seem to be crazy expensive to me, considering this new technology that's involved. You know, this is cheaper than like a B&M coaster, which is quite surprising. I mean, this is something like $12 million or something like that, and I think Untamed was in that region as well, 12.5 million euros. So Zadra is maybe a little bit more, who knows? But yeah, they're not crazy expensive, I think, for the amount of pleasure that I guess they can bring, because I think Untamed is awesome, and it's yeah, it's right up there. It's my second favorite coaster now. I'm giving this away before I'm doing a countdown, but which I was gonna do later on in the year. But yeah, Untamed I find awesome, so I just can't wait to ride Zadra either, and you know, get on there hopefully within the next year. Hopefully get out there, maybe I'm thinking April, May, something like that next year. I think I might be out to Poland, and definitely do Energylandia a couple of days, I think, because I think it's now become a park where you might need a couple of days to do all the rides. There's just so many roller coasters. Anyway, leave your thoughts about Zadra. Are you looking forward to riding this? Are you getting out to Poland? Are you already in Poland? Who knows? And I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.